Ladies and gentlemen, I feel like I'm a bit too old to have a dog in this fight, but since you jabronis decided it was a good idea to use your like button to show support, instead of to indicate that you actually like a video, all of the best mechanics on TikTok have become incredibly boring. It's true, you're not even watching the whole video, you're not even watching half the video, you just see their faces, you want them to do well and you hit the like button. Because of this, they actually think you want to see this crap. And now for some reason, people are asking me what my opinion is of the industry, like I'm some sort of professional analyst or some crap and not a mechanic. Let me tell you about the industry. Let's start with something like this 2011 Ford Flex right here. It's a 13-year-old car. Picture the guy who drives a 13-year-old Ford Flex. Just imagine him for a second. What does his bank account look like? No one wants to talk about the guy with the 13-year-old Flex. We're happy to talk about fair treatment and better wages for technicians. We're happy to talk about how if customers were better informed, they would be happy to pay their life savings to have their vehicle repaired. But nobody wants to talk about what I would call the average person. That particular Ford Flex needs a lower steering shaft. If I wanted to buy one here at the local parts store, it would cost around $390. I wouldn't charge a full hour to put it in, but most people would, so the labor would be between $40 and $125 an hour in this area. Mr. Ford Flex guy is probably the average dude in the US, so his income is somewhere between $38,000 and $41,000 a year. We'll say $41,000 a year because that's around $20 an hour. That's $3,200 a month, $800 a week, $160 a day. And if this guy's paying taxes and union dues and everything else that goes along with your normal paycheck, he's only making around $500 a week. That's most of his paycheck just to buy a part and install it on the vehicle that he needs to get to work. And I know some people think cars don't break down every day. It's a rare thing, and if we would just use reputable dealerships to maintain our vehicles, we wouldn't have any breakdowns at all. Well, here's a 14 Malibu in a General Motors dealership wanted to replace the transmission control module to rule that out before they dove into the wiring. That is a real thing. That is something that I have witnessed, and I now have the vehicle. As reported, and remember what is reported is only reported by large chains and dealerships. These numbers are actually many times worse. It's just there's a large portion of us who don't use chains or dealerships for our vehicle repairs. But according to them, 1 in 3 vehicles will break down every year. That's 69 million of them. This is a $41 billion a year industry. And I'm not talking about maintenance like oil changes and things like that. What I'm saying is 1 in 3 vehicles on the road will experience a malfunction that has to be corrected in order for those vehicles to continue driving down the road. That's a lot of cars. And of those 1 in 3 drivers of those vehicles, less than 1% of those actually have the money in their account to cover $1,000 worth of repairs. That means this year, 1 in 3 of you will have somebody like me corner you. And if you want to escape, you'll have to let that person pin you down and suck the life out of you so you can get up and accumulate more lifeblood to have people like me suck out of you. And some of these people are so full of themselves, they'll want you to smile when they're done. Those of you who don't see it that way, think about it. I charge $80 an hour here at this shop, which is relatively cheap. 2 hours of my time is $160. That's how much a person making $20 an hour makes in a day, the average person. 2 hours of my time costs a day of your life. How could you see it any other way than that? And I know some of these guys are talking about improving the industry, making positive changes, which good for them, that's awesome, but nothing I've heard them say so far does Mr. 13-year-old Ford Flex driver, aka the average person, any good at all. And it's a pretty mature industry at this point. It's been around for a while, and as an industry matures, the technology, information, and equipment become more and more valuable, while the human element becomes less and less valuable. By the end of its cycle, the human being should be the easiest part to replace. Any other way is the wrong way. That's because the technology and the information can't make mistakes. It is their purpose to eliminate the possibility of human error. We want to get rid of the people to improve the industry. I wouldn't be surprised if in the future they're not sending electronic signals through the ball joints of vehicles to test the resistance to wear. That would eliminate somebody who could eyeball something like that and delete most mechanics almost instantly. I'm just hoping I'm still alive long enough to watch the mass of this ship go down. What do I think of this industry? I like this industry. I think there's room for improvement because it's not over yet.